Recently, I had a day in New York City exploring by myself. I was using maps on my phone to get around the subway, the streets, and then my battery went dead. Instantly, I just felt lost, disconnected, without power. And that moment reminded me that without power, I couldn't go anywhere. Didn't know where I was going. Paul says the same is true spiritually. Without God's Spirit, we're lifeless. We're like dead men walking, lost without purpose. But with Him, everything changes. Reminds me of today's verse in Romans 8:11. It says this, "And if the Spirit of Him who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you, then He who raised Christ from the dead will also bring your mortal bodies to life through His Spirit who lives in you." Romans is Paul's great letter about the gospel. And in chapter 7, he describes the struggle. But in chapter 8, he bursts in with hope. There is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. And the reason is Christ's finished work. And through His Spirit, that victory becomes real in us. The Spirit sets us free, empowers us to live, and even brings healing and life to our bodies. Notice the word that Paul begins with here. He says, if. If is an invitation to imagine the difference that the Spirit makes. If He lives in you, then everything changes. If He lives in you, then weakness is met with strength. If He lives in you, then weary hearts can beat with hope. You know, that day in New York, I finally got back to my hotel. I plugged in my iPhone and the power flowed back. Charged, energized. I was ready for the next adventure. And that's what the Spirit does for us. Without Him, we're lifeless. But if He lives in us, He gives us life. And we are carriers of hope. Have a great day.